And so when we fail doing the things that we're doing, it gives us an opportunity to remember, I need to rely on God, right? I can't do this on my own. In this video, we're beginning Lent, and we just experienced, or maybe will be experiencing, Ash Wednesday coming up. Ash Wednesday, of course, is one of the 2 times during Lent that we are asked to both fast and abstain. That is, take in a little less food, so we go to bed a little hungry, or have a little bit of our day hungry, and abstain from meat, which we do on all Fridays during Lent, and is still a practice throughout the year that's encouraged by the church. And we get into this context, or this practice of penance. Now, for myself, I don't think I understood penance really well, because see, growing up in a kind of Protestant culture in the United States, we look at penance as something shameful, something we're kind of bad, and so we have to fix it, right? Or we have to really recognize how bad we are, right? That's not the Catholic context for penance. When we think of penance, we have to recognize that as Catholics, we think that first and foremost, we're created good. That the fall doesn't mean that we're totally corrupted, but that things aren't as they should be. And we can be capricious. We can really do things that we really shouldn't do. Whether we know it, whether we don't know it, all of and everything in between. This is why at Mass, when we begin Mass, we begin by recognizing that we're not worthy to be there. Worthy, not because we're bad, but worthiness has to do with the fact that we haven't done anything to merit or to bring about this gift, this grace. As I was going through seminary and kind of struggling with the question of penance or worthiness, right? Because that's a question that's asked. Do you find this man to be worthy? Which they ask at the ordination. The person introducing me says, after due consideration of the people of God and his formators, we find him worthy. Now, of course, we know that that's used in a very different way than when we go before the Lord every time and say, Lord, I am not worthy. Because there's a recognition that ultimately what the Lord has given us is a gift. And our whole lives are a response to that gift of really Jesus, of revelation. This is why St. Therese of Lisieux could say things like, everything is grace. Because grace is ultimately a gift. And so as I was struggling through this in seminary and learning more about what the church taught in penance, I came across this quote by Joseph Ratzinger, then Joseph Cardinal Ratzinger. We know him probably more as Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. And it's about penance. And I wanted to just read it for you all as you all come into the season of Lent. And I'm a millennial, so of course I have it on my phone. Penance is a necessity for both the individual and the community. But Christian penance means not self-rejection, but self-discovery. The ancient Acts of the Saints emphasize the fact that no word of complaint about creation ever crossed the lips of the Christian martyrs. The inner precondition for penance is precisely the affirmation of oneself, everything about oneself, of reality as such. Wherever the fundamental yes to being, to life, to oneself ceases to exist, penance disappears and turns into arrogance. For penance presumes that man is permitted to affirm himself, to say yes to our true creatureliness. By its very nature, it is a penetration to the yes in the hidden places of whatever obscures the yes. That is why true penance leads to the gospel, that is, to the joy of the gospel, even to joy in oneself. As we enter into this time of penance, we get to enter into this time of a joyful new self-discovery, especially of that which animated the saints. that gives us the opportunity to see that our lives and the penance that we take upon ourselves is an entrance into the yes, that is Mary's yes, that is the yes of the church, the yes of Jesus to come among us, and to help move away from our lives anything that keeps us from saying that yes, whether it's a lot of chocolate or a lot of TV, or even adding some time in prayer every day. Whatever keeps us from saying that yes to the Lord, to follow in Mary's footsteps, is what Ash Wednesday, what Lent is all about. So that when we come to the cross, we can open our hearts on Good Friday and Holy Thursday and Easter Vigil to enter into the yes of Jesus, that yes which is the response to which our whole lives are given.